Happy Labor Day, ladies and gentlemen. This is an excellent topic because it is Labor Day, so we should talk about it. All Americans, every single last one of the 30, something like that, isn't it? Like over 300 million Americans will be forced on UBI in the coming months, Universal Basic Income. Trust this plan during the next, which is happening now, you're in it now, hyperinflation, economic, financial crash here in the United States, worse than 1929, an American Ponzi scheme scam of too big to fail bailouts and what I believe is criminal activity at the central bank and the Federal Reserve, which should be ended, are all being led to slaughter, to universal basic income in 2024, 2025. Again, we've talked about this, but Trump, who's likely to get in this coming election, will get dumped on the hot potato of the economic financial apocalypse that Democrats and sleepy poopy pants diarrhea forming in his diaper Joe Biden and Kamala and empty stooge Harris, who just came out with a new accent today, I don't know if you noticed that, are gonna dump the economic financial collapse run by Democrats on Americans' heads, which was always the agenda to extort and extract as much wealth from the honest, good American, working class American people. And after destroying the country, giving you universal basic hyperinflationary socialist income that won't be worth dog crap. It'll probably be about 1,000, 2,000 a month or something. This is another reason why Comrade Kamala is attempting to push through, along with the radical Democrats, more confiscation of your wealth in the form of unrealized gains, taxation, otherwise simply called theft. And you must understand this. This has been the game plan of the elites for a very long time. During the lockdowns of 2020, Jack Dorsey, on his official Twitter account handle, said as soon as they were done with that other fake thing that I'm not allowed to talk about, that after that they'd be moving towards UBI. So it's been wide out in the open. They've given you all these ideas long in advance. It's 322, by the way, in Maui Booyah. It's 322. You see how Satan's trying to defeat us, ladies and gentlemen? It is your opportunity right now to like and share this video and get this critical information out to your friends and family so they know they're going to be forced on UBI, universal basic income, in the coming months during the hyperinflationary economic, pre-planned, pre-engineered collapse of the United States of America and the westernized empire. And guess what? You won't get that UBI unless you're complying. And I need you to understand this point. Unless you're a compliant little cuck slave, you will never receive that sweet, sexy honey of that UBI they'll be rolling out of free money and free cash, which will be worth nothing. Again, what they're going to set up Americans in is called projects. You've probably seen this in Chicago and other American cities. Run down areas of your local community where drugs and prostitution fester. They're doing the same thing with universal basic income. But this time around, they've thrown Americans into suburbs. And they've set up the suburban wasteland that currently makes up the USSA, where most people are miserable, living a life that is a lie and are unfree, consuming the toxic waste and poison of the foods that these large multinational corporations are jamming down your throat, throwing in and ingesting microplastics that now the scientific community, I'm going to start only drinking out of glass, are saying that 0.5% of the amalgamation of the human brain, meaning 99.5% of it is only the mass of the brain tissue itself, and the rest is microplastics in your head. As they launch 666G is going live and operational now, and they connect all of you biologically to the mark of the beast. here in the United States and the westernized world, I want you to understand what these people's game plan is, what the criminal cabal has waiting for you, what the wolves intend for every single honest, hardworking, God-fearing American is slavery. And this is why they shut down your businesses. In 2020, it's why they told you not to buy Bitcoin, because they want you poor. They want you slaves. They want you broke. They want you poisoned. They want you obese. They want you lazy. They want you fat and stupid and fake happy so they can control you. And so I can't think of a better day to raise the alarm of the red alert and Paul Revere fashion of the massive UBI scam that is coming soon to the American people, which will be necessary as a result of the criminal cabal and the bankster elite and the too big to fails and the bailout kings like Oracle of Bailout, Warren Buffett, having stolen all of your money and wealth, will now, need some kind of socialist solution, which is going to be universal basic income, which will be paid by you. Again, it's not free. All of your taxes, which are confiscated, are then taken by the government, which they print from nothing because, again, the currency is not backed by anything. And the debt is at 35 trillion and infinite. Again, instead of these drunken sailor crooks cleaning up our debt and paying it off, their solution is more confiscation and theft in the form of taxation and unrealized capital gains. I want you to understand this critical thought and point that if you or I ran a company this malfeasantly, you'd be thrown out by the board of directors. Now, the board of directors in the United States are actually the American people. It's you tuning in, the voter, the honest person who's been, maybe going along with things because you're too busy. You're feeding your family and you're a good person. Maybe you've been serving the country overseas. Now you've woken up and realized all those wars are lies, that you were just sent to slaughter to go step on IEDs and failed wars like Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, one of the positives here is we do have a grand awakening. People understand the scam. After being locked down like sheep in their homes for years on end and fear-mongered, after their children were thrown out of schools and subjugated with the authoritarianism of masks, a lot of people have started to wake up. And they see that, yes, things seem to be awry. It's why clean foods and natural foods are so good for you, like raw milk. The reason why they don't want you to drink raw milk is because they don't want you to be healthy. It's clear you can see this overseas. For example, I didn't see one obese person in Japan. Not one. Not a single person. Same thing in Singapore. If I went to a vending machine, my options were fresh squeezed orange juice, a cup of coffee, green tea. There was no Doritos as options. There was no Snicker bars. There was no Snicker butts that I could buy. It was just all good and healthy, and it was actually even encouraging me. And the reason is, these other countries that have more free, universal, basic health care, so to speak, it's not all free, but they actually have a self-incentive to keep their people happy and actually healthy. Otherwise, the government would have to pay for it. See, they have an economic financial incentive not to kill you. But in the United States, these corporations actually make all their money poisoning you and keeping you sick, making you depressed, giving you anxiety, removing your hope, and removing your real wealth. And again, it serves the elites. The only reason why they're going to roll UBI is just to keep down the protests that might be stammering or erupting with the realization that the elites have stolen all your money. And so that's why they're rolling out UBI. Again, the only way to combat all this is to get rich yourself and stop being a cuck. First thing you need to do is start buying Bitcoin and invest in real assets like islandproject.com. You need to start those businesses, get your cash flows up. You need to find the girl, get married, have a bunch of kids, populate the earth, take them all to church, homeschool them. You grow your own gardens, have your own cattle, get your Second Amendment ready, because you're going to need that too. Your course to power and prosperity is by taking back your individual freedom and then organizing with like minds in communities and stop being a cuck and allowing these people to rip you off and destroy all of your lives. Big news today. Also, the U.S. fraudulent government stole, through outright piracy and theft, kind of like a pirate stealing a ship or something, stole the president of Venezuela's Learjet today, Nicolas Maduro. Now, I'm not saying Nicolas Maduro is a good guy. He's probably not. And I'm sure the election was rigged, the one that he just had, just like the United States. I mean, there's no difference. But proving the point that these governments, especially in the West, just act with carte blanche, like they own everybody's stuff. I mean, look, imagine if you just started taking people's stuff by force, like the U.S. government. I mean, if I was Maduro and there were any assets in my country, I'd confiscate it from Americans today, just like America does. Again, who makes these rules? Who sets all this up? It's a laughingstock. I noticed that the fake news, CNN, which no one tunes into anymore because they've died, we've since tried to respirate, but they've gone out and had their last breath, or now in the depths of hell, their soul went down and to go live and make love with Satan. But I did notice that they said something in their article regarding this confiscation of Nicolas Maduro, Bad Boy's jet, that, it's just terrible what's going on in Venezuela. There's people there that can't even afford a loaf of bread. I laughed to myself because when I got off the airplane, when I came into Honolulu earlier, there was a bunch of homeless people on drugs, a bunch of drug addicts lying down sleeping. God bless them. I pray for all of them. But they couldn't afford loaves of bread either. And so I questioned to myself, the same attacks that CNN is running on Venezuela actually is the truth in our crumbling U.S. infrastructure crappy cities. In fact, a great American, a 49er, first-round draft pick, was just capped in the hideous streets of San Francisco. When you're stepping over heroin addicts and needles everywhere and getting robbed in broad daylight in the crap American unsafe cities that have gone to trash led by radical Democrats. And now they're fleeing the nest. They're fleeing that nest. They're all moving to the Patriot states, like Texas and Arizona, and they're infecting it like a disease. We don't like it, America. We don't like these cancers infecting our states after trashing their own and creating an unsafe environment for our children. I mean, I remember California back in the day, and my grandfather did. When he first got there from Iowa, he was really poor, and he's an example of living the American dream and coming out from his bootstraps from nothing. He was a cool dude, but I remember he told me, when he came to California in the early days, right out of the Depression, man, it was the land of milk and honey and beautiful blonde babes all over the beach. I mean, it was Mecca. Now you go over there and it's a bunch of illegals that haven't destroyed the cities, circumvented the country, and it's dangerous, unsafe, way too expensive. I mean, even Nancy Pelosi's husband has his house being broken into while he's standing in his underwear with security. I mean, that's how crazy it is in the United States. And to make it even more cucked out, the two fake astronauts in non-space, lower atmosphere orbit, not space, just above. Put down the shades so maybe that doesn't happen again. It is pretty hot today. All glory to God. But I was in the middle of my rant about these fake astronauts and fake lower orbit, non-space, right above where the airplanes fly. Yep, they expect us to believe that near 60 years later, after the first moon landing, yeah, we're supposed to believe that in 1969, that not only have they not been back ever, except for I think a couple years later, like 1971, if I remember correctly, but not only have they not been back ever, but their aircraft 50, 60 years later, you know, the Boeing Starliner with all of its fancy technology and the internet and the host of advancements, have them stuck there on the International Space Station and can't get them off the rock, so to speak. Yeah, that's right. They were only supposed to go there for a week, but the rinky-dinky Pinto of the Boeing Starliner, you know, with crappier technology 60 years ago, allegedly went to the moon, can't remove these people from the ISS. You must think we're cocks. Lies. And a laughingstock for Boeing, which is really interesting. I was reading that very conveniently, yeah, it's an extreme convenience, that the ISS will be decommissioned on guess what year, folks? Guess what the year is? It's what the cabal loves, you know, these Satanist, evil devil worshipers. 2030 and their agenda. It'll be decommissioned then, yeah, because it's a scam and not real and a fraud, and they don't want you to investigate. So supposedly we got this guy and gal floating around. This is real. I'm not making this up. I'm not being facetious. They're floating around right now in the ISS, dodging their own pee and poo. This was really what I read. So I want you to imagine yourself floating through fake space with your hair standing straight up and dodging a turd and droplets of piss that might hit your forehead. That's what CNN actually said. And they can't get them off the space station. In fact, the technology sucks balls so bad that the guy actually radioed in to NASA. This was according to TMZ, and said, hey, guys, yeah, 10-4, are you guys down there on Earth? Yeah, there seems to be a strange noise on the Starliner. It's like a humming noise like this. True story. Seriously, I'm not joking. So, near 60 years later, 60 freaking years, they not only can't successfully run a mission to non-space, the crappy ISS that I can see with my naked eye out here in Hawaii. Sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's the tin can. Nice. Wow. Bravo, guys. You know, look, it's not like airplanes. We know airplanes work because we see them all over the place. We've all been in an airplane. It's not like they've been lying to us. I mean, like, no, we can really fly in an airplane, Christopher, from Los Angeles to New York. We do it all the time. So, I mean, it's not like actual facts where we actually know any of this stuff. It's like they expect us to believe that 60 years ago, Neil Armstrong bounced on the Swiss cheese. I mean, I don't believe any of this. This is all lies, which is what brings me into the next topic, which are deep fakes. This technology has been rolling out like crazy recently, and a lot of you aren't even aware of what you're seeing as a deep fake. What you're seeing in live television are deep fakes now. What you're seeing in presidential speeches are deep fakes. It's not just the images being generated by Chat GPT run by a radical leftist cuck or Grok run by Elon Musk. It's a whole heck of a lot more than that. Photorealistic, video realistic imagery, text-to-speech, improv, political, presidential leaders, Hollywood, celebrities. I mean, the same technologies they're rolling out with CGI and all this stuff. My point is, you need to be questioning everything. For example, a lot of people believe that what happened to Trump, what was it on the 13th? I was connecting the dots there, Revelation 13:3, right? I was just bringing that to people's attention biblically, but a lot of people think that was a deep fake. And honestly, you should actually investigate that, because just because the news shows you on television doesn't mean that what you saw is necessarily the truth. And you should be asking questions. Again, just like 9/11, they were able to pull that off. There's going to be civilian casualties, of course, just like what happened to Trump. Like, these people are evil, just like they confiscate Nicolas Maduro's ride. Like earlier today, they do whatever they want. They're going to tax your unrealized gains. Property taxes, too, by the way, are essentially unrealized gains taxation. I mean, let's say you inherited a farm from your great-great-grandparents and they only paid $100,000 for it. Let's say it's worth $10 million today. You're going to pay $10 million worth of assessed value or whatever the new assessment is of taxes. See, the government is really good at taxation without representation and theft. Whether or not it's stealing people's jets of foreign nations or it's proposing universal basic serfdom. And this is what you need to understand, and is the title of this video, is that universal basic income is not a basic income, it's a guarantee of your poverty. It's a guarantee your kids have no hope for the future. It's a guarantee you'll be living in a slum of the American projects. It's a guarantee of Hunger Games. Because again, what has been the goal here in the United States? Outside foreign invaders have overthrown it. They've bought and paid for off all the politicians, which are corrupt. They've rigged the system in their favor. After extracting all of the wealth that was all by design, and after that's complete, multi-generationally, they'll then roll out the new system called the Great Reset, which is what you're in now. Just like 2008 and 09 was one giant rigged scam for the elites to rip you off. 2020 was another orchestrated event. And what you're seeing now. And so, I can't think of a better topic here on Labor Day to bring to all of your attention. Do want to welcome, he's not new, but one of our amazing subscribers and member investors here at islandproject.com, Daniel Torres, just had an amazing experience here in Kapalua at our beachfront condo right on the beach. We got a good deal on it too. We paid about $3 million cash. Again, our portfolio doesn't have any bank debt, but I'll be showing you a really wonderful, and thank you, Daniel. I'm very thankful not only that you are an amazing member, but thank you for putting together a testimonial video for our audience. We have hundreds of testimonials that I'll be airing out to the public in the coming days, weeks, and months. Members that have used our properties, they've been an investor going on for some time now, and they'll just explain for themselves what it's like to work with myself and my father and our amazing team, what our world-class exclusive no bank debt beach and oceanfront homes and our world exclusive $6 million ski lodge right on the slopes of Deer Valley is like. And so a lot of you have asked for that. We're going to start putting out that content. I'll be doing interviews and stuff, and we've got some really crazy, amazing events planned as well. So I just wanted to mention that. Well, we have a very big week coming. Also, too, on this critical path to election, it is important to note that, we're getting a lot of fake polling. Obviously, the radical left, which controls the media, Hollywood, all of the banks, it's important to understand this, that the radical left is literally in control of every fabric of society. They own the banking system, they own the central bank, they own the big pharma companies, okay? They own Hollywood land, they own CNN, they own Fox News, they own everything. So it's very easy for them to rig fake polling because they own the polls. But we're seeing a lot of polls now saying, Kamala, she's in the lead. Kamala this, she's edging Trump out. I don't know if that's to be believed or not. I do know Arizona's on the fence, though. There's been so many Californian invaders and radical leftist cucks that have moved into our home state of Arizona, which I love so much, recently that I actually think Arizona has turned blue, which, is going to be crazy during the upcoming Civil War. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in Arizona because, if you know anything about Arizona, it's Trump country, guys. Okay, they're a bunch of tobacco chewing, spitting into tin cans, Second Amendment cowboys. So it's going to be really interesting when we got this Civil War coming in Arizona, in Texas, in Florida, and the panhandle breaks off to form our new 1776. Just like the movie Civil War, which I rewatched. I wanted to see if I can glean any more pertinent information from that movie, so I was watching it on the ride over here. I think it's predictive programming for sure for what's ahead. So Also, we see people growing very wary in Israel right now. Netanyahu is under a lot of heat. 6 hostages. Yeah, that's right. Is it 6? I believe it was 6. I don't know. I'm reading a report here. It says Hamas threatens to release video of the 6 executions. So isn't that convenient? 666. Again, the evil cabal, the radical left that owns America, the media, the banks, the central bank, you know, all the companies, the multinationals. They own all the tech. They just own everything, every single last one of them. You know, maybe there's a couple individuals out there that are a little different, like Elon Musk, which is interesting too. Twitter has lost half of its value since Elon Musk's private acquisition. Now, I would argue Twitter actually does have a lot of value. I think once Elon figures out how to monetize it, it'll probably be, you know, a huge profit center down the line. But I do not think it's unrealistic that Twitter has lost about 80% of its value since acquisition. So a lot of the Qatari royalty, royal families, Ben Alaweed, if I'm saying his name correctly, who owns like $1 billion stake, a little bit more than that. I mean, they proceeded to lose about 80% of their value, and that's not uncommon. Most of Elon Musk's companies actually lose money, and this has been the case of Tesla, and whether or not it's X or any of the other companies he owns, SpaceX, they're really just government subsidized money laundering scams, truthfully, if you look into them. Funded, subsidized by taxpayers so they can operate at a loss indefinitely, and then later on, after you have shouldered all the losses through debt, which Elon complains about, he's like, oh yeah, you know, the debt problem is a result of government spending, but it's the same government spending that props up all of his companies with multi-billion-dollar subsidies. It's kind of crazy. I mean, God bless him. If I could pull that off too and just rob the American people, you know, billions of dollars a year just to fund my Learjet, I mean, you can't blame Elon Musk for doing it. He's pulled it off. He's pulling the levers of the deep state. And I'm joking too, by the way. I'd never do that because I actually have honor and integrity. But I'm just kind of pointing out that it's very interesting to see how all this is playing out right now. So Netanyahu's under attack. The 6 hostages have been slaughtered that were taken out on that very tragic day of, what was it, if I remember correctly, October 7th. You know, when the Israeli government stood down intentionally and just let them all in, came in with their Kmart kites, all the Hamas guys came in with their little parachutes. They were like, cowabunga, dude! And they rolled into the party. There was a bunch of Israelis with their tops off going, I mean, literally, I'm not making this stuff up. The people that were taken hostage were just basically doing ecstasy at what the Israelis do best. You know, party, get drunk, and I don't know, go out into the wilderness somewhere and do drugs and have sex. I don't know, that's what they were doing. I mean, the people that were actually taken hostages, which is terrible, the young girls and the guys, were just basically being losers at the time. It's not like they were sitting in an office doing anything productive. They were just out there partying, you know, like Burning Man, where all the elites go almost every year, although that's kind of fizzled out. Burning Man is just one big orgy for the elites. That's what it is. I mean, that's what the cabal does. Guys, you've all seen the movies about, you've all heard of Jeffrey Epstein, right? That's your government officials spend their time doing things like that. I mean, that's who's in charge and running the United States of America. It's not like Christians are in charge of the United States. Satan is. So anyways, it's a fun video. It's good to be back. I love you all, but the critical part of this message is UBI is going to be rolled out to all of you very soon during the crash. And we know a crash is coming because they won't be able to roll out UBI without it. They need an excuse to roll out the UBI. And by the way, this whole space thing of the ISS, that's one big psyop too, because I'll tell you what's going to happen with the psychological operation of fake space and the astronauts dodging each other's poo. It's one big love story where Elon Musk is going to come to the rescue with SpaceX. He's going to be there with a cowboy hat on. He's going to be flying in on a spacecraft. And he's going to be there to bail out Boeing. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a big party. No, I'm serious. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it here now. You're going to see Elon Musk roll in with the cavalry. It's all an illusion, all lies. It's just meant to sell new NASA, right? It's meant to sell SpaceX, which has replaced NASA. And, you know, it's going to sell the idea that, yeah, now that we got these people off the space station, it's so feasible that you're going to go to Mars next. None of you are ever going to Mars. The only way you'll ever go to Mars is with a chip in your head or with one of those Oculus devices and a fake VR artificial reality. Space is fake. You've never been to the moon. Those people stuck in the tin can Pinto of the ISS can't get off because they don't have the technology to get them off, guys. And I'll tell you this, it's a lot harder to go to the moon and it's light years harder to go to Mars. Now, I'm all for Elon Musk and the rest of the American government getting on those spaceships first. In fact, that's what I promote because I think they're not going to make it if they go. So I say, put Nancy Pelosi, okay, and all these Democrats on Elon Musk's spaceship and applaud him for getting on first. Yeah, guys, have a good time. See you later. Have fun in space. Because those aircraft are going to burn up the minute they hit that Van Allen belt. Nancy Pelosi will be left as a pile of bones. Okay, guys? So, having fun today, too, because I want to entertain you all. But that's the crux of today's video. And in all seriousness, you guys know what to do. What is it? Get out of the banks. Own real assets with no bank debt. Buy the Rolex and the Lamborghini. Put your key in. Of islandproject.com, the digital Noah's Ark, and on board and have an amazing vacation like Daniel Torres just did. Who's cutting us a testimonial video. My dad sent it to me too right now. Loving life, enjoying life outside of the system, making money, 1000x in the cash flows, tokenizing on a multi-billion-dollar blockchain during America's collapse and during the economic, financial depression and the rollout of universal basic peasantry poverty income, which will continue. Hyperinflation will continue. Home prices will continue to skyrocket up because they're cutting rates now, guys. The easy money is getting easier and they're printing more debt. And this is why gold and silver will continue to skyrocket while Americans go broke and become very poor and become subservient slaves to the New World Order cabal elite that own you. And just like they confiscate Nicolas Maduro's jet, they're coming for your unrealized gains next. I say fight back. I say grow some freaking diamond nuts. Get rich yourself. Buy a little Bitcoin, baby. Get in. Buy a little IP, the digital Noah's Ark, and form your own America and build your own communities decentralized. And start taking advantage of opportunities worldwide, not just in the United States, which is not even in the top 20 of the Freedom Index anymore, economic, press freedom. It's actually sunk below 20, guys. I mean, we're talking this thing's been thrown in the trash already. And as many bright economists, one stands out, Martin Armstrong, he's got some pretty good material, has said it doesn't matter who wins the election. I said this before too, and so I guess we just think alike. But it's not going to matter who wins because America's already going to erupt by the end of it. America's already too divided. It will not stand, man. Right? Just like the dude drinking his White Russian. It's like, man, I forget the exact line, you can help me out, but man, this This aggression, man, will not stand, man. This aggression will not stand, man. Right? And that's kind of where most Americans are. They're floating up in the clouds right now, like in that one cut scene where the Big Lebowski's floating through the sky, you know, and he's just kind of like, yeah. You know, that's kind of the general idea of where we are. So anyways, I love you. It's good to be here. It is September 2nd, 2024. We have massive opportunities ahead of us, massive opportunities in crypto. I'm going to be putting out some new exclusive material at school on how to pivot, leverage, and profit from that. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to those opportunities. I think we're going to see a lot of volatility though right now. Just looking at charts and technicals, in my honest, humble opinion, I think there's going to be a ton of volatility, but there's going to be great opportunity to buy these dips and really profit coming into 25, as we're going to see the most disruptive, chaotic events in the next few months. I mean, Klaus Schwab already said this, guys. He said, we're going to have a shock events period. And by the way, Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates, those aren't really the real figures. The real cabal doesn't show their face. They operate in the shadows. They're far smarter than that. So if you think you're only at war with Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, the bald guy, you're wrong. Okay, the real people running the shadow government, you don't know who their names are. You've never seen them, and you never will. It's one of the reasons why they're winning is because real, honest, God-fearing Americans like you tuning in don't know who to fight. And I'll tell you how you can. It's very easy. You empower you and your families. You get rich. You earn those cash flows. You join like minds. You join a community of Christians, of really good people, the good guys. My father and I, you onboard with your first 30 units today. We had another individual just do that. Someone just DM'd me on Twitter, actually, or replied to it. And I directed him straight to my father. What you do is you empower yourself, because you can't fight the enemy directly. And it's a spiritual war. And so by rising and building yourself up and coming into a position of strength, that's how you're going to fight back, take the country back, remove you and your family from a negative mindset. And I'll leave you on a positive tune today too. You know, everything starts with an idea and a belief. Your idea and belief in yourself will move from your conscious to your unconscious mind. Once it's activated into the unconscious, that belief will take into action that is necessary to achieve your goals, no matter how large they are. You'll go all in. And the most successful people in the world, and the most successful ideas, platforms, businesses, relationships go all in. They don't hold back, they burn the ships, and they leave them behind them. And they do whatever it takes to build success, liberty, freedom, hope, justice for all. It's a very important concept for a lot, I think, of just everybody, all of us, to really know. This is a secret that I uncovered years ago, and I've learned this, is that when you go all in, whether it's an investment or an idea or it's island project or whatever it is, that's how you win. Same thing in a relationship. When you have the idea in your head that there's no other road. I knew a professional ball player like this once, and if you asked him, hey, you know, what would happen if you didn't make the major leagues? His response, and a friend told me this, his response was always, well, there is no other option. And he went on to go be one of the biggest major league ball players ever. Because again, there's no other option but your success. Because in a world of chaos, what these people have coming for you, economic, financial collapse, bank runs, outright confiscation of your real money and your wealth, total political chaos, civil war, economic war, the active poisoning of Americans, everything that they're doing, everything that this cabal has planned, you don't have any other option but to go all in on yourself. Bet on yourself and build these coalitions and build these investment classes and build the Freedom Network and build what we're doing here at islandproject.com, the digital Noah's Ark. It's the #1 solution. We are a real solution. Yes, I'm here to entertain you guys. Have a little fun today too. You know, we got to smile a little bit too, because it is dark out there. But my primary message today is really start preparing and getting ready for what we know is coming. I'm telling you straight up, UBI will be forced on every single American, but you're not going to get any of it unless you comply. So I want you to understand this too. If you're going to rely on that UBI, just know you're going to have to take what they give you. Okay? Because you ain't getting anything for free. This government is a draconian, forceful, tyrannical, Orwellian, authoritarian system. And unless they've got you by the balls and they can squeeze them, you ain't getting any of that sweet apple pie that they got coming. And it ain't even going to be good for you. As I've said, you know, even as I've been overseas, you go overseas, there's not the fast food jungle that you have here in America. It's why everybody's obese and dying of cancer. It's because everything in the United States is poison, dude. It's honestly, it should be illegal. All this stuff. Like, it's unbelievable. You go overseas, you rarely see someone overweight, over 20. If you're over 20 pounds overseas, it's like, wow. I mean, Europeans like think Americans are disgusting. They do. And a lot of the world does. When they visit America, they're like, America's freaking disgusting. These people look like poisoned. And I don't even think they're being mean. I just think they're making an objective comment. I even noticed it coming back. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, I roll out, and again, CNN wants to lie to me and tell me that it's bad in Venezuela. It's bad right here in the States, man. I'm walking over bodies of people that can't afford loaves of bread, that are on crack, okay? In major American cities, 49er stars getting capped in broad daylight. You ain't safe here in the United States. It's a trash heap. And it's all because of your dirty politicians and these criminals that have been running rampant, destroying the United States of America. And so how do you take your power back? You organize peacefully now. Join us, the Christian Ballers, here at islandproject.com. Become a proud owner of our diversified portfolio of exclusive beach and oceanfront homes. Soon to be internationalized, already fractionalized, will be tokenized on a multi-billion-dollar blockchain to make you rich. I can't guarantee that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should fire your financial advisor who told you not to buy Bitcoin. And you should put all your money into islandproject.com from the guy who told you to buy Bitcoin. And the guy who told you World War III was coming. And the guy who told you the invasion of Ukraine would start the war in Israel. You should listen to me and fire your financial advisor. See our terms, my intent to tokenize, see if you qualify, text my dad or call him at 808-442-2934. And have a beautiful day. I'll have more content like this coming. Testimonials, property tours, reviews, and I'll keep you up to date on this crap show that is the United States with almost 60 days left for the U.S. election, and will only bring chaos and utter destruction in the coming months. Again, you ain't winning anything by no matter who gets in, guys. The radical left is not going to accept the results of Donald Trump winning, so expect war. If Donald Trump doesn't get in, the right ain't going to accept it. Expect war. We're only headed one way. Hyperinflation, economic collapse, bank runs, World War III and war. And the elites are telling it to you every day. To your face, in the fake news, and in Hollywood. Even Barack Obama's making movies along with Michelle called Leave the World Behind, where the Teslas go awry and the AI takes over and airplanes fall out of the sky. They're pushing the propaganda for a reason because they always tell you what's going to happen. I'm telling you to save yourself. I'm telling you to get right with God. I'm telling you to move your money out of the banks before they close with capital controls and you don't have access in a 1929 style event. When bankers start throwing themselves out of buildings like they did in the 1930s. When you see the disruption, I've already seen it. I already know what's going to happen. That's why we don't have any bank debt, because Americans are living on credit cards, they're living on leverage, they're living on mortgages, they're living on a scam of fumes, and it's all going to implode. And the rich are going to buy it up all cheap, get richer, screw all of you, put you on UBI, and send you straight to poverty, build feudalism here in the United States, topple the system, create division by design, which has always been their goal, demoralize, poison you, make you sick, feed off you like a vulture, and profit from your misery. And I'm here to lift you up, to make you healthy, happy, joyful, saved, rich, free, to build families, to remove your children out of the school system so that you can actually homeschool them, and to fight back in the peaceful manner that only our founding fathers knew how to do. Because we are the new founding fathers, baby. And we are the 1000X revolution. And we are the 1776 and the Paul Reveres fighting back on your behalf. And we are the billionaire Christian superclass that loves Jesus Christ and are riding back with him in the second coming right after the rapture. So hold on to your pants and hold on to your diapers, because it's going to get real serious here in the USSA very, very soon. And I'm very excited. We got huge announcements, more acquisitions coming as a part of our $33.5 million no bank debt portfolio. We've already pulled it off. It's incredible to think about how far we've come straight from the glory of God. In fact, I met a guy right when I came into town. You know what his name was? Glory. Because God's always speaking to you if you pay attention. And that only gave me more confidence that the glory of God is already here and his return is imminent. Links below. To onboardislandproject.com. It's super easy. You just onboard with your first 30 units. We accept crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Jesus Coin, a host of other blockchains. Talk to my father about that if you have any questions. We'll never reach out to you on WhatsApp or Telegram. We don't do that. You can only speak with us direct or go to our private website, which is official at islandproject.com. Click the members tab, fill out a brief 3-minute application to the best of your ability. We have to ask you those questions because regulators force us to, so don't feel bad about it if you don't, know how to fill out everything perfectly. And if you need any help, just speak with my dad. He's here to help because we're always working, we're always building, and we're taking your power back, and I'm 1000xing all of our member investors so you can fight back during the economic financial depression of 2025. It's an honor. I love you all. Links up here and down here. What's up, Reagan? Good to see ya. Make sure you share. Randy, what is up, baby? To the freaking moon, it's good to see ya. What is up? Leave me a comment. Smash the algorithms. Papa John, no, you don't sleep. Papa John, don't sleep, baby. Julio, Papa John. John Murphy, great to see ya. David, great to see ya. Jenny Booker, one of my faves. Maddie, I love ya, one of my ballers. Julio smashes the freaking like buttons. Magnum freaking P.I. Papa John. Bitcoin to the moon. Oh yeah, Tokyo, booyah, baby. Got some announcements coming with that too, by the way. I love Japan is so sick, man. Freaking amazing. I love Singapore too. Those are great places for business opportunities and will really help with our tokenization event as well because Asia is just killing it right now. In the technology sector with blockchain. They've moved light years ahead of the United States and all of our bogus, problems here. Vidna, hey Vidna, I recognize you as well. God bless you. Yeah, I know. Things are tough in the USA, but I got to come back and lead the revolution, baby. Hey, feeling right. What is up, Smush family? Did you just smush up the like button, bro? I'm sure you did. Keston Sinclair. The XRP community, man, you guys shouldn't turn on each other. XRP is a guarantee. You're one of the top 3 blockchains in the world, baby. Cross-border remittance payments. I mean, come on. Dubs, 555. What is up, baby? To the freaking moon. Yeah, you're strong, baby. You got power. So again, what was my closing message? I guess I'm going a little longer. My closing message is you have to believe in yourself first if you really want to change your life and have an impact. Your inputs also are a direct result of your output. So I tell people this all the time through coaching and mentorship. If you're not getting what you want as an output, check your inputs. For example, if you're not making enough money, then look at your input. There's something wrong with the input. Maybe you're limited. Maybe you can't make more money. If you're in a job and they've capped how much money you can make, you're stuck. Your input has set a blockade on your ability to make more money. So what do? Well, you got to add something else then. The solution to that would be add another opportunity, add another income stream. You could add another career choice. You could add a part-time gig or a hustle. You could learn to invest. You could learn about crypto. You could go into business for yourself. You can learn sales. I mean, one of the great things about sales and marketing is there is no cap. There is no limit to how much money you can make. There probably will be in the future, though. I actually do think that the cabal is going to limit even your ability to make money in the future. If they don't like you, they're just going to cap you. They're going to be like, I don't know, you're conservative, you're Christian, you love Jesus, you're white, you're a male, you only believe in 2 sexes. You're capped here in the America, you can only make $79,000 a year, that's the tier. I'm not even joking. Like, they're going to get rid of everything in the United States. Like, the whole goal is enslavement. And you must understand this. We have gone from a 1% T-tax where we declared revolution to now wanting to tax 100% of our incomes through unrealized theft. You must understand this point. So, to a certain extent, unless you're building new life rafts and platforms, nobody's getting out of this thing alive. I don't care how much money you have. I could give you $100 million a day, man. You're still screwed unless you're building platforms and arcs like islandproject.com, which is why I built that. I understood that truth a long time ago because I could see and understood where the elites are going because I think from their perspective and knew that their whole goal is to feed off the misery, just like they do today, of America. Feed off the poison, feed off, the obesity, feed off the cancer. I mean, do you know how much money there is on feeding off of people's cancer and disease and diabetes? That's why they're giving you Coca-Colas every day, guys. They want you obese. You know how much money there is on that? They got you on a subscription plan for the rest of your meaningless life. They don't want you strong. They don't want you to have six-pack abs. They don't want you to make love to your wife. They don't want you married. They don't want you having kids. I think you guys should go out and do all those things. I want you having tons of children. Each of you should have 10 kids if you can, if you're young enough, healthy enough, and can provide for them. Populate the earth, be fruitful and multiply. Take your power back. Start farming. And I'd encourage even you guys that are white collar. I'm white collar, but I learn as much as I can about anything, every topic. I'm always willing to learn. Like, never think it's too late. Don't fear starting the homestead. Like, go for it, man. You can do this. And the truth is, those things are hard. One of the reasons why we've had our power removed from us is because, I think a lot of people have just grown complacent and laziness has set in. And a lot of people are unwilling to work and to put in the effort. So those two concepts, which I'm leaving with you today, are really like motivational concepts. That number one, set your sights on a goal. Consciously write it down. Repeat it to yourself every single day. Make it a big goal. Like if it's not big enough, it's not worth fighting for. Make it something huge that seems almost impossible. Set the goal, consciously vocalize it, write it down, put it on a piece of paper. Over time, your belief in that idea will set in to stone. And it'll permeate into the other side of your brain, which is really where the activation comes from, which is the unconscious side. And then the unconscious mind, I see it happen in my own life all the time, will then produce the output of the result needed at all costs. And you've got to commit fully. Burn the ships. Just like the Christian song that I love, burn the ships. And then go all in. Will create the reality of the destiny that you're meant to live. Again, all of you are powerful. All of you can become millionaires and will, a part of my project. I can't guarantee it, I have to say that, but that's our intent. All of you, as a part of what we're doing, are changing lives and changing the world. That I can guarantee. And making a massive impact in a time where a lot of people don't have any solutions at all. I'll comment on this too. I've never seen the media so disgraceful. I've never seen social media so disgraceful. I've never seen just so much sadness and misery like online. Like, my gosh, dude, just go read a book or something. That's another good, healthy sense of perspective I got traveling outside of the country is you're not constantly berated by trash media all the time. The United States is it's trashy, man. It's a reality television show trash heap. What does America glorify? Like housewives, the Kardashians, like trash television, dude. And that's why there's a trash culture. And that's why the kids grow up trashy. And you have people growing up, and it's why relationships fail all the time in the United States too, because the elites want your relationship to fail. The last thing they want you is healthy, happy, joyful, married, in a good relationship, building communities, wealthy, successful with your own business, and in a position of power. They want you weak, questioning your gender, sick, with cancer, controlled, poisoned, manipulated, taxed. The list goes on and on. And they have a direct economic, political, financial incentive and benefit to do all of that. It's actually their business model. And that's not lies. That is their business model. They make money from the lockdowns, guys. The best thing that ever happened to the cabal was the lockdowns, which is why they did them. Because it was a net positive. Net worth skyrocketed amongst the Zuckerbergs, who censored the U.S. election, by the way, which is treason. He admitted it the other day. Their net worths tripled, while your net worth sunk Is it not about time you guys fight back peacefully? I mean, am I telling you anything you don't already know? Is it not time to join islandproject.com with a vengeance and on board before you can't get in? Is it not time to own real assets that they don't want you to own and come enjoy a vacation and have a good time, just like Daniel Torres just did? Is it not time to join the Christian ballers and to fight back by rolling over your retirement accounts and IRAs and speaking with Papa John and becoming a part of our amazing membership and our network? Is it not the time right now to organize? Of course it is. It's the number one thing you should be doing, creating cash flows, building businesses, getting the truth out, liking this video, taking your power back, taking risks, getting outside of the box. Go get new experiences and see new things. I'm encouraging you, get out of the country, travel a little bit. You'll see what I'm telling you is the truth. Americans are living in a bubble. They don't understand where the direction of technology, money, blockchain, tokenization, most don't understand where it's going at all. They have no idea. This is like when the internet was invented and everyone's like, I don't understand the internet. Now the internet dominates. Get on board now before it's too late. Fire your financial advisor who told you not to buy Bitcoin. He is stupid. And onboard islandproject.com now. I told you to buy Bitcoin. I make you rich. I'm the one fighting for freedom along with you. We and you are 1776. We are the peaceful revolution. We're the ones that already own the beachfront, baby. We are the Christian billionaire class. Get in now. We have the solution. We are the ballers. We are the patriots. We are the founding fathers along with you. Not these other people. Not these other cucks. Not the fake news. Not some media tycoon that just tells you to tune into the next episode. We've got something real and tangible, hard as rock, the foundation of God, which is a powerful thing. And we're kicking ass. Links below on project.com. See our terms and disclaimers. I'm not a financial advisor. And we're going to the moon, guys. We're going to the moon. And also, too, now that we know microplastics are consuming 0.5% of all of our brain matter, according to scientific reports, let's all move to glass if we haven't already, for crying out loud. And definitely, I encourage you to stock up on food and water if you haven't done that. USAsurvival.com. Once the Civil War hits, which will probably be during and after the election this year, no matter who gets in, I would expect supply disruptions probably at your grocery store. And we know that this is going to happen anyways as a result of the war in Israel and the war with Iran. Iran and whatever dangerous proxies are in the United States will shut down our system at some point. It'll affect our grid, it'll affect water supply, or it'll simply just stop truck movements into the United States with after 2 days, the store shelves are completely empty. That's how weak the logistical supply chain is in the United States. After 2 days, it's all over. So if we have asymmetric events in all American cities and they launch drones and they're all guided by AI and there's some kind of targeted event, I would expect to run out of food and water in 2 days. Just like here in Maui, when the fires erupted, there was no infrastructure for a week. Nothing. Homeless people all over the streets with children without food and water. I was here, I lived it. No help, the government didn't do crap, nothing. They didn't do anything. Thank God people like me are stocked up with years worth of food and water and self-defenses and radio and alternate internet supply and the whole host of things. We're prepped, baby. So we weren't panicked. And I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh yeah, par for the course. Of course the whole island's burnt to the ground. And it wasn't the whole island, by the way. Small part of it. I am seeing some progress too, which is very exciting. Most of the debris has been finally cleared. Thank God. Construction has started, and although there's still a ton of gentrification on the island, and our hearts and prayers go out to everybody because your politicians are criminals and they've created hyperinflation for a reason, folks. But I am starting to see some progress in the rebuild. So that's really good news. And keep in mind, for those of you that aren't familiar with Hawaii or Maui, Lahaina is a very small part of Maui. Maui is a very big island. There's, various different locations that are completely fine. It's just a small subset of where that tragedy had occurred. And I'm sure it wasn't by accident, if you know what I mean. But again, guys, people wake up until it's too late. And proving even in a supposed first world country, the U.S. won't save you. They're not going to be there to help, and they're not going to provide you with any food and water or care after the fact. They're just going to hyperinflate you into oblivion, force you and your family on universal basic income, destroy your real wealth and your freedom, and they've gotten away with it so far unless you fight back. Be peaceful about it. We promote peace, but I'm telling you, don't play their crony system. Get out. You want freedom? Learn about blockchain along with me. You want to get rich? Buy islandproject.com. 30 units minimum. Just 30 grand and you own beachfront. I want you to think about how crazy that is, how powerful that is. Never before in the history of the world could you own direct beach and oceanfront and a ski lodge for 30 grand. That's it. And when you deploy today, right now, along with all my other members, you become a direct 100% equity owner immediately. Cash flows, capital gains, tokenization. It's that easy. It's not hard to understand. There's almost no downside because we don't have any freaking debt. I also have a new spec home I'm building. It's amazing property. It'd be 10,000 feet in aggregate. 3 homes. It's all ocean views, 1 minute from the beach. Incredible. I just got those plans drafted. I'll be putting that out in a newsletter too, and when I get the VR renderings of it, I'll put it out privately to the host of our member investors. You guys are amazing. I love you. You are extremely powerful. Our subscribership is powerful. You are amazing. Our members are powerful. What we have built along with you, all glory to God, is powerful. We're changing the world during extreme disruption. I also want you to get excited because Bitcoin crypto will explode to new all-time record highs, I believe, as we move in post-election. Trump is huge on Bitcoin. He wants to make the United States the Bitcoin capital of the world. He's launching his own technologies right now along with his son. So this is going to be huge. And I want you to take away this key point. For those of you that thought Bitcoin and blockchain and tokenized real estate was a fad, it's not a fad, guys. I've got a news flash for you. It's the entire economic financial system. And you will all be moving towards this, into this new economic financial system, whether you like it or not. UBI is going to be operating on a blockchain. UBI is going to be operating on some kind of technology like that. This is where the world's going. Just like the internet and cell phones are ubiquitous, what we've built at islandproject.com will be ubiquity in the future. You'll have no other choice but to use it. This is where global governments are going. This is where fiat will be transitioned to with the CBDC economic reset. I predicted it for years. I told you they were lying to you, that BlackRock was scamming you, that these politicians were frauds that told you not to buy Bitcoin. I told you to fire your financial advisor 10 years ago if he was too stupid not to understand Bitcoin was the #1 investment in the world. If you took my advice, you're rich. If you listen to your financial advisor who should be fired by now, you're poor. And that's the hardcore, amazing truth. That's reality. And it's where we're going. MAGA. 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 Bitcoin to the frickin' moon. Okay, and Trump's going to pump his own bags because he wants to get richer too. Again, one thing Trump is really good at is making money and getting stinking rich. He's famous for golden toilets, and I applaud him. Mine's going to have diamonds encrusted around it someday. Because again, we're capitalists. We're ballers. We fight back. We're the ones that marry the supermodels, baby. We're the frickin' winners. We own this country. Trump for president, baby. MAGA. 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 This is Trump country. And you must understand this. Second Amendment, baby. Second Amendment. Trump country. 1776. Mark Zuckerberg, we forgive you for rigging the last election, bro. We forgive you. We forgive you. You're on Trump's train now, baby. You're a Trumper. This is where it's going. Get rich. Get rich. Get rich. Get rich. Get rich. You're fighting other very, very, very rich people. Okay, they have no qualms about their Learjets and their yachts and their money printing. Warren fake Oracle of bailout Buffett has no qualms about printing that currency and selling his Apple stock, 55% cut, dude, because he's leaving you with a hot potato, because he's a greedy SOB. And he's protecting his assets for the next crash. He's selling Bankrupt of America scam stock right now. Selling that. He sold a billy. He's like calling up his broker. He's like, sell $1 billion of that bankrupt scam of America. Boom. Hit the button. Limit orders executed. And that's what's going to happen to the American people, figuratively, is they're going to be executed by these scumbags. I want all of you rich blowing your fumes of your Learjet in these criminal politicians' faces. I want your yachts running over their bayliners. I want you to own 40 homes like the rich cabal do. I want you to have 10 passports and various citizenships like they do. I want you to own the media, baby. You tell the media what to do. You become CNN. You put out the propaganda. You order people around like they do. Stop allowing a small group of people, they're this little, bunch of little babies right here, little babies. You got all the American people, 300 million of us, that love America. They love America. America. You got 300 million of us and like a dozen of these people. And you're allowing them to be in charge. Nancy. Nancy. You work for us, Nancy. You work for us. You work for us. Politician's a low-level job. It's a low-level job working for the American people. So like being a janitor or something. You work for us, Nancy. You work for the American people. You don't forget it. Radical left. Kamala. Comrade. You work for us. You work for us, Biden poopy pants. You work for us. Enjoy your suntan on the Delaware beach and your poopy pants. I'm just having fun today. I'm having fun. America, God bless you. 1,000 freaking X to the moon. 1,000 X. Links up here and down here. Links up here and down here. We actually do see a little bit of a bull today. I'm expecting volatility though. We see Bitcoin bouncing around that 60K. It's testing it. If it doesn't hold that, you're expecting volatility. If it can break through that meaningfully, we're going to get a pop. That would be kind of the short-term analysis there. But again, I think people are being very conservative right now because they all know we're in civil war. We've got 2 months before the election, so people are going to pull money off the table just like Buffett. So if I'm just betting or guessing, I think volatility is here. We're probably going to get some buying opportunities in the next few months, probably some scares along the way, some black swans, some false flags. I'd expect more war. I mean, expect everything. I mean, even looking back, man, 9/11 was like paltry in comparison to what's going on now. Like, yeah, happy Socialism Labor Day, guys. Happy Socialist Day of the United States corruption of America. The United States Corporation of the USA. And by the way, I told you this in the last video for those of you who didn't catch it. They did everything in recent years for the legal protection for what they're going to do next. They needed legal protection and a legal roadmap for their next layer of tyranny. And that's what they got away with the lockdowns, is they set up the legality for the future martial law. And you're still under martial law. This is what many of you don't understand. You're under martial law now. Okay? I mean, if you really try to exercise your freedom, you're going to find out really quick you're under martial law still. You really are. And they're going to use all these measures, and they're going to use all these push buttons when the time comes, when it's prudent for them to use it. Crazy. It's really gnarly, man. World War III, economic collapse, hyperinflation, election, UBI, socialism, peasantry income. America's collapsed, not even in the top 20 of the freedom economic media, free speech indexes. Free speech is gone. Everything is censored. It's incredible. We're in martial law now. Deep fakes, AI, fake Wall Street, algorithms in control of everything. Tech oligarchs own the United States. I mean, it couldn't get any worse. This is worse than the days of Big Steel before Teddy Roosevelt broke it all up. So hopefully Trump goes in there. The best thing he could do is just get in the central bank, prosecute everybody, and then go out and break up all the tech companies and just fragment them into just, you know, I don't know, different subsets. Like you can't monopolize the entire country, right? We have anti-monopolistic laws. Like you can't own everything, which is what these people do. They own food supply, they own technology, they own the internet, they own the media. Like they own freaking everything, man. They're vertically and horizontally integrated. That's illegal in the United States. Monopolies are illegal, for those of you that don't know. So these people that own every facet, vertical, horizontal integration of every industry and technology, that's wrong. That should not be allowed in the United States, but it is because they've overthrown it. And so Trump needs to go in there and break up the cartel. It's a mafia, guys. They tell us Nicolas Maduro is running a criminal government. Well, I'm looking at our own thinking it's just as bad. I don't know about you. I mean, look, who's deciding this? The radical left? I mean, they didn't even have a primary for Comrade Kamala. There wasn't even a primary. So there was no vote to even elect her as the Democratic nominee. They overthrew that. Like, you're in martial law, guys. You're in chaos. Go watch the Civil War movie later tonight. If you've got it on Amazon, go watch it just to get a sneak peek. It'll help you with your preps for what the coming months in the United States are going to look like. I love you all. Shout out to Daniel T. Thank you for the testimonial. I'll air that soon. God be with you. He's, I think, from Baja California, and his family owns a big hotel in Mexico, actually. He's an amazing guy. My dad's met with him. His family's very successful. They own a beautiful hotel, which I haven't visited yet, in Mexico, and has investments, I think, all in Baja California area. If I remember correctly. I'm just giving you the idea of some of the people that have onboarded my project. Like they're ballers, guys. They own hotels and stuff and are huge successes and are, you know, very successful people that are fighting back and building our coalition of freedom. I mean, how do you think we've been able to pull all this off? Because we have beautiful people from 12 nation states from all around the world that are fighting for the same thing, that love God, love people. We're making disciples. We're taking our power back. We're telling people the truth. We've done it with our actions. We've promoted a solution. We've effectively instigated a solution. We've implemented it. And we've built the freaking ark. When we tokenize, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be sick here in 2025. I love you. Talk to all of you soon. And yeah, shout out to Daniel's son, Marco, as well. God bless you. We're both out here. God bless you. Well, I'm a fan of you guys. I love you all. And have a wonderful day.